How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about a new Christmas movie. This is Violent Night from December 2nd, 2022. This is directed by Tommy Wirkola and stars David Harbour, who you guys know as Hopper from Stranger Things, John Leguizamo, who we saw recently in the movie The Menu, and also Beverly D'Angelo, who was in Christmas Vacation. A Christmas classic, really. Glad to see a Christmas star pop up again. Brief, non-spoilery plot of this movie, not going to get anywhere near the end. But basically you get this family, a dad, a mom, and a little girl, and they're going to the dad's mother's house for Christmas. The problem is the dad's mother is really, really rich and controlling, and it's implied that this, power dynamic has caused a lot of problems in the parents' relationships, and it seems like the little girl's mother and father might be on the verge of separating because of this. However, when they go in, they start to enjoy the Christmas party, some thieves break in, kill all their assistants, and take them hostage, and the thing is, they want the money in the mother's safe, which is going to be like $300 million or so. However, because they planned this heist on Christmas Day, the actual real-life Santa Claus happens to be in the house at the time and has to fight off all these bad guys and save the innocent little girl who is on his nice list. And overall, this is something that I really remember the first time I saw that trailer. I thought, wow, this is a really good concept. And then I thought, please let this one pan out. Because I have seen movies with good concepts that just came out okay. But this was one, you see the trailer, you see David Harbour, you see it's Santa fighting people. I was like, this is a good idea, and I really had my fingers crossed. And I do want to say, this really didn't disappoint. It had a lot of what you wanted. It had a ton of Christmas stuff. It had some fun actions and fight scenes. And plus me, I'm a slasher geek. There are quite a few really impressive kills in this movie as well. But in addition to all that, ways that it was better and surprised me is there is a ton of who Santa is as a character, and you do get to see his journey from the beginning to the end of the movie, and little hints at his backstory that explains why this Santa is this way, and also the relationship with the little girl. Someone who is nice in a world that a lot of times the people who aren't get highlighted. You get this girl who really believes in Santa and is pulling him out of this funk, and it really is a heartwarming story, which, there's ridiculous, violent, rated R kills in this, but at the end of the day, the movie still has a good sense of heart. One of the few movies where Santa's killing people that I can go, wow, that was oddly a heartwarming experience, so good character and good feel behind it, which is really cool. Overall, this is one that I definitely want to get when it comes out on Blu-ray, and I am looking forward to watching this again next Christmas. This is actually Universal, and Universal also made another classic alternative Christmas movie, Krampus. And I cannot tell you how cool it would be if we did a crossover between these two films. Please, Universal, Santa versus Krampus. That would be really cool. I would love to see them set up their own sort of horror Christmas universe. And speaking of universe, this movie does a good enough job getting you intrigued as to what all's behind it, You see Santa, you see his sled and reindeer, and the elves and Mrs. Claus are alluded to, but never really seen. There's no big North Pole scene. they really keep all that pretty low-key, even though he definitely is real Santa with real magic. There's a lot more in this world where I do think, I'm like, I want to see how all this stuff works. And that really is a thing when it comes to world building, curiosity, natural inspiring curiosity versus advertisements for the larger world. Really, this is how you should do it. Spark people's curiosity, just show them a little bit of this big Santa stuff and go, okay, you showed me a really interesting slice of Santa's backstory just for like 10 seconds. I really want to know more. So yeah, there is more to this that I really do want to see, and I hope it gets a sequel or a prequel or a crossover with Krampus. I would love to see more from this world. But anyway, before I go on and start gushing about this movie more, I guess I should cover the flaws. I'm just going to stick them in the middle really quick and sort of gloss over them, because there's nothing really super breaking with this movie, but there is a few things that I do have to point out. One, a lot of the side characters, a lot of the other members of the family are kind of caricatures, and they do kind of gloss over them pretty quick. In particular, the main guy has a sister, and all her family are just, greedy caricature people. The thing is, though, the movie really isn't about them, so set them up in a quick and easy way to understand and get some jokes out of it, because it really isn't their story. And also, the heist happens really quick. We don't want to slow the movie down. If the heist happens this early, we don't bother setting up those characters. The other thing that's worth mentioning is this movie does borrow a lot, and that might bug people, but they do it in sort of a wink and nod and sort of acknowledging way. But it is worth saying, this movie borrows a lot from Die Hard, the guy that wasn't supposed to be there, the bad guy's trying to get into the safe, and there's a radio, and they're like, who is this guy? And they're talking to him on the radio. What are you, some guy who saw too many action movies? Yeah, there is a lot of Die Hard. There's also some Home Alone, in particular in this one really fun sequence that shows you just how violent Home Alone would really be, because the real movie's kind of a cartoon. But no. Home Alone in real life, very violent. But the thing, and why I'm okay with it borrowing so much, is it's not super pretentious. It doesn't act like it invented this concept from the ground up. It is jokey, and it does openly acknowledge its source material in a way that's not too distracting. For Home Alone, the little girl's young, she's excited, and she just saw the movie for the first time, and she loved it. So, you get her doing the Macaulay Culkin scream, and you see, yeah, it's a clear path of influence for her. And then you get a fun wink at Die Hard, where Santa's looking through his sack of presents for something useful, and one of the gifts that he can't use is Die Hard on Blu-ray. So, yeah, it's not a super pretentious movie, and it does wink and nod and acknowledge without going too far into, sort of parody there. So I think I can brush past this. But yeah, we all know they're borrowing from Die Hard. They're borrowing a little bit from Home Alone. Overall, though, the product's good, so I really don't care. But anyway, the big pros, the big things that surprised me with this movie, Santa. I saw the concept, and I really liked it, but having him be the real Santa, and then saying he's also killing people, I was a little bit like, okay, that's a funny concept as a trailer. How will it actually work in the movie, saying this is real Santa, but he also kills people? And it works out surprisingly well, mainly because they give David Harbour a really good character to work with. It's not just, oh, Santa whatever. We get to see who this specific version of Santa is. He's depressed, he's drunk, he's fed up with commercialism, and we get to see this Santa say he's been doing this for so long, he literally can't remember why he started, and he's pondering, will this year be the last Christmas? So we really get where his headspace is, you know? But also, when the violence starts happening, they do a good job of establishing these are really bad guys. The house's servants, they don't stand a chance, and there is a pretty brutal, opening of the story, not the very first scene, but once the inciting incident. When that gets going, the servants are toast, and these are definitely bad people. It's okay if Santa kills them, but like his first instinct is to not get involved in human lives outside of giving them presents. So when he sees a commotion in the house, he doesn't quite know what's up. His first instinct is to just leave or hide or stay quiet, and he only sticks around because the gunfire spooks off his reindeer, and he doesn't want to fight or kill people. And the first couple fights are just self-defense, and the first kill is an accident, and you really get to see, like, this is a Santa that has to kind of be awokened into the warrior. He's not John Wick right off the bat, but you also get hints at a past that would explain how he could do all this, that really makes the character where it doesn't come out of the blue, and you're like, okay, that it somehow makes sense and still feels like Santa Claus. And also, Santa is magic, but he's not invulnerable, I was thinking this might be like Super Santa saving the day or something, but no, a lot of Santa's magic, not necessarily super practical. Maybe if he reaches into his sack, he can maybe find something useful, and putting your finger beside your nose to shoot up a chimney, okay, that's a good exit strategy, but it's not like Santa can shoot laser beams from his eyes and just kill people, and it's not like Santa's the Hulk or anything, So there are actual moments where you're like, oh man, Santa's really getting beat up right here. I don't know if he can make it through. And that is a really interesting thing to actually to worry about Santa, So yeah, the character in here is really, really good. And as a slasher fan, I do have to mention, when the kills start happening, they're pretty creative. You can go through and you can do an action sequence, but action with a bit of creativity, incorporate Christmas, and try to do something funny and different and unique. And that's really what they do here. They really do try to be creative with the action and with the kills. In the trailer, there's a very famous scene where Santa kills someone by taking the star from the Christmas tree and stabbing him in the eye with it. That's a pretty crazy kill, but there's more to that than what they show in the trailer, and the star kill just really gets fantastic, really great. And also, like I mentioned earlier, the Home Alone stuff, yeah, in real life, Home Alone is a lot more violent, and that sequence is going to be a classic thing from this movie that people really remember. But also, they stick to incorporating Christmas decorations, ice, snow, a ton of Christmas in the action and kills in this movie as well, If you're gonna tie someone up, tie them up with Christmas lights. If you're gonna try to strangle someone, use some garland, stuff like that. And even, one scene in the movie where someone gets stabbed with an icicle. Keep the Christmas in the action and kills. That was really, really clever. And I also want to mention, talking about clever things with this world, one little side thing I want to bring up. Whenever they show the naughty and nice list, try to read that. And that's going to be one thing, like when I have the Blu-ray and I can pause it, I would really want to see what all they wrote. Santa has this sort of list. It's, the two ends of the scrolls, but it's like a hologram between them, and basically whoever is close by, their name will pop up on the list, whether they're naughty or nice, and then why. And the why I thought was really interesting. The little girl is nice, and it'll say things like, she's nice to animals. Okay, that's why she's nice. but then like the bad guy will be nearby, and if you can pause and read his list, there's things like killed his best friend and broke his mother's heart. And I really do love the little details there. Fun world building, cool Christmas concept, and just fun to see the little reasons they came up with for why all the villains are bad. That's pretty cool. So yeah, it's very Christmas, very action, with the kills, a good bit of horror as well, and still, despite being action and hard R and stuff, I do want to say, you know, Santa, relationship with the girl, finding the strength and love for Christmas, it really, despite all the violent insanity, does have a good heart behind it, and it keeps that human element. It makes him still feel like Santa, and provides a pretty satisfying journey for the character. So, yeah, you know, it is a little on the nose with what it's referencing, but overall, this is one that I am going to want to pick up the Blu-ray for and watch again, and probably pair it up with Krampus, do a double feature. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'm going to leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be a Christmas playlist. If you guys want to see me talk about more Christmas stuff, you can find more there. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Christmas on the bottom. Have a good day now.